Henry Louis Aaron, also known as Hank Aaron, died on January 22nd, 2021, about 2 weeks ago now, at the age of 86 years old. I was ashamed, actually, because Hank Aaron died, and it was a bit of a wake-up call for me where I realized I knew his name, and I knew that Hank Aaron was a legend. Like, I had a book, I'm pretty sure, like a picture book of Hank Aaron talking about home runs and kind of like a poem book of legendary stuff. But I didn't know why Hank Aaron was a legend, and I was very embarrassed. I was like, this guy died. I feel like I should say something. I don't know what to say. I don't have anything meaningful to add to the conversation. I know nothing about Hank Aaron. And I was ashamed. Like, that's really embarrassing. I'm a sportscaster. And I realized it's unacceptable, like how little I knew about Hank Aaron. And so in this topic, I want to celebrate Hank. I feel a lot of pressure about it. Actually, I was going to talk about it last episode. I moved it to this episode because I've been very nervous about getting this wrong. I really want to do the guy justice. And I did a lot of research. I read articles. I watched documentaries. I watched interviews. I tried to learn as much as I could about Hank Aaron and then distill it into a meaningful topic. I tried to educate myself on who he was and why he was so important to not just the baseball community, but the sports world in general. And really, the more research I did on Hank Aaron, the more sad I got, the more I learned about the guy, the more I realized, we're really missing out. And it's really sad to me that I lived my whole life not really knowing much about Hank Aaron, not knowing what I was missing, and that I wish I could have appreciated him more. I wish I did appreciate him more while he was alive, because he was clearly an amazing, amazing human being. And we'll talk about home runs in a moment. We'll talk about the thing he's most known for and what he did in the sports world. But at first I got to say, I watched a 45-minute interview with Hank Aaron, just Hank Aaron talking, 45 minutes. It's posted on the YouTube channel Academy of Achievement. I could have watched for hours. He was a lovely man. He reminded me a lot of my grandpa. My grandpa died in at the end of 2020. And listening to Hank made me feel nostalgic. It reminded me of my grandpa. My grandpa loved baseball. It was his favorite sport. I now looking back, I remember my grandpa referencing Hank Aaron a time or two, and I just didn't. When I was a kid, it went over my head. And that 45-minute interview allowed me to get to know, and not get to know is the wrong word there, but really get to witness the wise old man Hank was at the end of his life. And really gave me a sense of what I was missing and what I missed out on my whole life not knowing who he was. And so let's just kind of bring it out there. Hank Aaron's biggest and probably most famous thing is that he broke Babe Ruth's home run record. So for a while, Hank Aaron was the Major League Baseball all-time leader in career home runs. He had 755 in his career. He hit 715 to break the record. I actually watched the video of Vin Scully making the call when Babe Ruth when Hank Aaron hit the game-winning home run, what am I even saying? The record-breaking home run in Atlanta, Georgia. And I think what's sad, though, is that, he broke the home run record. He was a career all-time leader in home runs in Major League Baseball. But instead of being celebrated, Hank Aaron was hated for it. And there were people who hated what he did for his accomplishment, but also what he did for his skin color. And that side of the story can't be ignored. It's a sad reality where it was, there were people that were upset that a black guy took a record, quote, took a record from the, quote, beloved Babe Ruth. And Babe Ruth is an icon, a figure, and for racist people who, I think it would have been hard for people who love Babe. I don't know. I can't really. It's hard to separate out because I can't tell you what would have been because we don't know what would have been. What we know is that Hank Aaron broke the record and he wasn't embraced. He wasn't celebrated. He wasn't appreciated. There was anger. There were people that were mad at him and didn't like him for it, and were bothered that he did that, like as if he did something to them, which is complete nonsense. Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier in 1947, and Hank Aaron only started playing in Major League Baseball in 1954. That's only 7 years after Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier. That's not a lot of time. And unfortunately, Hank Aaron was hated for his skin color. He had rocks thrown at him. He had death threats. I don't need to say that. That's obviously ridiculous and awful and terrible. And I've always known that. So Hank Aaron started his playing career in the Negro Leagues, and I've heard that before. I've known what the Negro Leagues was, but I want you to really take a minute, think about it. Imagine people saying, "Hey, you're Hank Aaron clearly is the best baseball player." Like in the conversation at the time was the best baseball player in baseball, but at least was in the conversation of the greatest baseball player literally ever. That guy at one point was told, go play in the other league because you're black, because of your skin color. It's so disappointing that's like the low point of humanity that people couldn't. It's really awful. And now, what I was surprised, I knew the Negro Leagues existed. What I didn't realize is they kept going for years. The Negro Leagues existed all the way till 1962. Like, that's tragically long for that to still be around. It's like, wow. It's a long time. Disappointing. And so, Hank Aaron was a pioneer. And when he broke Babe Ruth's record, he became the home run king. Again, in total, Hank Aaron hit 755 home runs over the span of 23 years. And what's even kind of more remarkable about that is that he never hit more than 47 home runs in a single season, meaning that he was just Hank Aaron. By the way, he won a batting title in only his third season in Major League Baseball. And what's crazy about the guy is in 23 years, he put up just steady, consistent, strong numbers year after year. Never really gaudy. Never more than 47 home runs in 162 games, but just steadily, really consistent, really great. And in total, he's now second overall for career home runs. He's behind Barry Bonds. And he's third all-time in hits, behind only Pete Rose and Ty Cobb. So he was incredibly consistent. He got on base a ton. He didn't strike out very much. He hit home runs. Like, Hank Aaron's a complete player. And so statistically, right, statistics are great. He broke a significant record. I know baseball loves to celebrate statistics. I care about moments, and I care about people, and I care about who he was. And my favorite thing about Hank is that he was low-key. He wasn't really braggadocious. He wasn't really a loud attention seeker. I know it's based on how he talks. I'm sure he would have loved to get more sponsorships and get more recognition, that he was well-deserved. But he was actually also just a steady, calm presence, which is the kind of guy, like, I wish he played today. I wish I could have. I would have embraced him so much. I really kind of the way that what's the guy in why am I blanking on his name right now? Mike Trout is he's not loud or braggadocious. He just plays good baseball. That was Hank Aaron. He did his thing, and he had humility and wasn't in it for himself, and just loved to play baseball and played for 23 years. And then he also wasn't afraid to speak up about racial injustice. And again, the word is pioneer. He really did change sports forever. I think that I encourage you, go listen to him speak. There's a lot of interviews out there with Hank Aaron. He's just a wise old man at the end of his life. And more than baseball, the sports world will always be indebted to Hank Aaron for changing the game and being an icon and breaking Babe Ruth's record and dominating baseball in an era where he wasn't welcomed, which is so tragic, because you would think that if you love baseball, you wouldn't really care what color somebody is, because, like, I love the quarterback position. I really don't care. Black, white, red. You could be an alien. If you play good quarterback play, I'll go, wow, that's amazing, because I really respect high-level play and competition, and it's sad that back then, and even there are still people now that can't separate out a person from their skin color, which is just stupid to me. It's very tragic. It's very sad, and we're lucky we got him. I poured myself a shot. I've never ever done this on the show. I probably never will again, but it felt fitting. I was just like, I want to raise a glass to Hank Aaron, a guy who was a pioneer, who was incredible, and who broke the home run record, was the home run king for a while, and was a steady force who I think is underappreciated. I mean, like, it's crazy to me I didn't know his story. Why is it that we all know who Babe Ruth was? I knew who Babe Ruth was, and maybe that's because I'm a white guy from. I grew up in the inner city. I was homeless, but it doesn't really matter. It's why is it that I knew Babe Ruth's story but not Hank Aaron's? That's sad to me, and so I want to raise a glass to Hank Aaron, a hero and a pioneer who will not be soon forgotten. Thank you, Hank. Let's celebrate Hank. Here's to Hank. Vodka, that's all I had. I almost never drink. But that's the Hank.